So in the course of filming a new video for parts reclamation, desoldering, and learning and all that neat stuff, I was going to town with it, and then I have my handy dandy Hakko FR-300 right here. This is a pretty spendy little device. I think they're about 300 bucks, but anyways, it started rattling. I was shaking around and there's some crap in there, and so what happened is I had to tear it apart, and there's a couple pieces of ribbing inside there that broke free, and that gave me a good opportunity to go through this and just kind of do a little mini teardown of this, which is not, I mean, there's not that much going on inside, honestly, but, you know, it became a reason to show you how it works and how to keep it clean and how to take care of it and, you know, what can go wrong with it. So that's what this one is about. Now, I want to take a second, though, before I get started to tell you about the video that I was filming that will be out soon. Hopefully, the idea is that this is going to turn into a series of videos because I want to do them for myself. That's kind of the bigger driving force, you know, not by much. But what the deal is I have, well, one, you know, it's kind of nice to collect parts and keeping your parts bin, but really, I mean, you know, how much do these cost? I bought a tube of transformers off of DigiKey for, you know, hardly anything, let alone, you know, the price of caps. Good God, right? So, you know, it's cool to pull things off. It's cool to get things from, you know, different boards here. So here we've got, you know, an old 3Com network card, right? So yeah, we can start ripping some things off of here, but really, I mean, what are you going to use on here? A few things, right? And becoming, you know, getting creative, yeah, we find some stuff, right? But the bigger thing I thought about this is the learning, the amount of stuff you can learn by taking apart other people's stuff. And that became the epiphany for me while I was filming this. I thought I was just going to be filming a little desoldering tutorial, kind of talking about the Hakko gun and how that's going to be, even though it's expensive, it's a good thing and maybe you should get it, right? But it hit me that, you know what, let's make this be a regular thing because I was enjoying it. I was learning a lot. And instead of just saying, hey, here's a chippy, here's a cap, there's a resistor over there, right? Instead of just pointing it out that way like a typical teardown, we'll say, right? What I was thinking we would do is start looking at stuff that looks interesting. We'll look it up. We'll put the data sheets and all the other pertinent information down in the description down below and learn what all this stuff does. Every single thing? Hell no. Hell no. But we'll start looking at a couple of the bigger items. You know, are we going to take a look at this Lucent chip right here and see every single thing that it can do? Oh, God. No. No, 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 no. But we can surely look up, you know, this rectifier right here. You know, we could look this up and go, hey, it's a rectifier, right? What kind is it? Where does it come from? Okay. Transformers, rectifiers, thermistors, all this kind of stuff. So I'm pretty excited to do that. That's what I think it should be coming up pretty soon. That's what I'm working on now. And I hope that it goes over really well. So let's go ahead then and jump into the teardown of this. It's going to be pretty short and sweet. It doesn't take very long to open this thing up. And then again, there's not very many components in here. It's just going to be a quick look at, you know, how maybe to maintain it and how it works. And for anybody else, just not to be afraid to open the thing up, right? But the video does start kind of midstream because I was filming the desoldering teardown video. And so I'm just going to go ahead and just fade it on in and we'll just get right to it. So what the hell? So look at this. So these things right here, they have a little filter and a catch that you can take out here, but there's something rattling in there. So I've been pulling this apart more because I thought maybe it's trapped somewhere else that I couldn't see, but it doesn't sound right. And you see, it's definitely catching in there. So it sounds like a fan is getting tore apart or something fell into it. So tear down. All right, so here is what we have. So far I've ripped this thing, well, I took this off of here. This just unscrews here, pull this off. This is your little trap for your solder, and that gets stuck back here with a pin, you see? Right? So, get rid of that. Let's see. Something's rattling around there, and I think it's not a good thing, because it was pooping away here, and then it kind of just stopped. It got like it was sucking hard, then it just like and it stopped. It's like no good. It's not working. So kind of tells me that it's a chunk of something that's either stuck in somewhere. It had a stuck sound to it. Like maybe it's a gosh, I hope it's not a piece of a little fan in there, but it sounds like either that or just a piece of solder somehow got down in there and got caught up in some works here. So grab something. Oh, that right there. There's always more to go, isn't there? Oh. Get it out. Okay. Okay, I'm deciding whether or not to just tip this over and see if it falls out, or if everything falls out. Ooh, look, there's one of those. Okay, so don't let that fall. Oh, there it is. Oh, look. Not a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a piece of casing. But where did it come from? Oof. Oh dear God, we're screwed now. Whoa. The things you find on the floor around an electronics bench. So, miscellaneous cap. Found myself a little, I did happen to find a little surface mount test point. And a bunch of these, of course. And, yay. Okay. So I didn't plan for this to be a teardown, because I don't want to screw this up. Let's take a look. Alright, so for my 2 cents worth of this, you know, what it looks like is we got ourselves our little cam going here into this, and this is our little pump fixture in here. There's probably one little diaphragm inside of there, boop, 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 going up and down, developing the vacuum for this thing. This thing's sitting right in here with that and the frickin' frack. Wow, how did I lose that big ass thing? Oh yeah, look. That and that creates the vacuum. This is a seal back here. There's a seal back up here. Gets the vacuum up to there, sucks it through here. Got a little filter back here, so it'll let the, of course, the vacuum through, and then catch all the crap. And this is replaceable as well as, you know, tips and everything else. So there you go. Half a second tear down. Put this thing back together, and let's get back to work. Okay, no movie magic. I did find where, oh, flip. Okay, well, that's destiny. Okay. Here is where this piece came out of, which, again, this is probably not going to be a big deal, but if you, it's interesting. So if you look right here, this was sitting right in here, and that seems kind of like I don't know. That seems destined for failure. This seems like this was working. And you get this thing going, wobbling around here, and it's a good tight fit, and that doesn't have very much meat on it, so that busts right away. Suspicion being that probably happens to a fair amount of these. I will save it, but I'm not going to put it back in. So there's this spring mechanism here, right? You set this in here, and it's going to sit in here. You put it in here, you put it in here, you put it where do you put it, right? So this, remember, is designed to hold that vessel and vacuum, hold it forward to hold vacuum. So this, you're going to want to hook this, reach way forward and get the front of that spring right there, like so. So you have to pull this unit back like so to get the containment inside there and let it snap forward and hold it. And of course, like all good puzzles, you're going to want to make sure that you put this in partially first, let that seat in there, hook the spring there where I just said, and then jab the whole flipping thing in there. There we go. Yes, and then that holds it. That's the lock. Very much like a slide mechanism on a pistol. So we'll set that right there so I can lose it again in a minute. Yeah, so this is here to keep that hose from kinking over time. Sure looks like. Okay. Seems like everything's good. Oh dear. Okay. So that'll be like this. This will go like that. Okay. Lock and load. We're all back together now, and wanted to add one more thing here. So the original deal here, so if you listen, if you hear that sound and not that sound, that means your tip's going to be is clogged up a bit. And find something like I have this inductor's got a bigger lead on it, it's a little bit stiffer, and you can poke it in there and you can ream it out. You should probably have yourself a little drill kit around here, likely one of the ones that you'd use for running holes out on a PCB. As you can see, this is all melted. I jammed this in here because what this one had a pretty bad clog in it, and I suspect it's probably from crappy solder, and also I'm thinking primarily flux, things that are going to burn and burn and carbonize on the inside of the thing there, because the lead will just melt again and then you'll just, you know, slurp it right back up in there. but when I was pushing on this, it wouldn't come, right? And there was solder on the tip. So when you're looking down there, you'll see like a little, you know, clog of solder on there. And I could move this around, poke it in there, and I could see it melting that solder, moving the solder around, but I couldn't jam it through, so I just pushed a little bit harder, hence all the melt here. And something basically felt like it broke free. It just popped out of there and then slurped it up. So, matter of fact, whatever is in there is probably still in here. Could be that. So another thing to look at here, if you clean out the front here, right? You can get more tips, you can change more, keep cleaning them out. The other thing you want to deal with is up in here. This is the trap for all the solder, right? So you pull this out, and maybe you want to change this filter back here. If you pop this out, and then it all kind of falls out, you're left with a couple pieces right here, and then you have to remember, if you weren't paying attention, how they went in. Okay, so this is going to go in here first, and the idea is you're going to have the little bent ends pointing backwards to it as you drop it in here, and then just spin it around until it fits into the notches there. This guy's job right here is to sit in the back, so when all of the crap comes flying in hot, the hot solder, it'll hit that back plate there, bounce, cool, and then fall down here. This other one, here, let me get this kind of straight. Oh, you know, that was alright. Then the rest of it is you take your little pad that you got, and then this one's, I mean, it's fairly new, and then just stuff it in the back here. It will kind of wedge in place here. It will start to suck back a little bit. That seems to be normal. Okay, jab it back in. Well, that's it. That's the unintentional teardown of the Hakko FR-300 desoldering gun. I think it's pretty awesome. It has a couple little things going on, like be careful of clogs, right? Watch what you're sucking up there. Keep the thing clean. Buy yourself some extra filters before you need to. Buy yourself some extra tips. The tips should be, could be, would be tinned as well, so kind of dab them with solder and keep those clean just like you would your soldering iron. Other things of note, there is a dial knob down here so you can change the temperature right here. There is an indicator on the front that I didn't talk about. This one, it's not a power light. I wish there was actually a power light on here because you can't see when the thing is actually on. This is an indicator showing that the tip, the heating element, is currently heating. So whenever it's ramping up, you'll see that on and then off, on and off, right? Just a plain old power light would be kind of nice because it has been done in the past a lot. It becomes really easy to leave this thing in and on and leave it overnight or longer, right, plugged in. So a little bit of a problem there. All right, so anyways, that is it again for the teardown and look-see at the Hakko FR-300, and keep a lookout for the video on the parts teardown, whatever we end up calling that thing, chip mining. How about that? Something like that. All right, so thanks everybody for watching. See you next video.